Hello everyone and welcome back to this brand new video. Now for today we're going to be playing Sultai Beauty or Sultai Control, whatever you want to call it. So why do I call the deck Sultai Beauty? Because it's a beautiful deck, and because it's destroying OMNATH, which is all I needed. I'm pretty sure that we're all sick of OMNATH, and I am someone who's really sick of OMNATH and turn 2 Lotus Cobra. So this is why the deck is beautiful, because it rids me of all of the pain that I have. So why is this deck good against 4-color OMNATH, and why is it destroying the matchup? I mean, my win rate against 4-color OMNATH is around 70 to 75%, which might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. So I'm not saying that you're going to win every single game against 4-color OMNATH, but you're going to be quite well set up. So let me start with the DeckTech to show you why this is a good matchup for 4-color OMNATH. So first of all, you're running 3 Bloodchief Thirst, and what I like about this is that it allows you to kill Lotus Cobra whether you are on the draw or on the play. So 1 mana to deal with their 2 mana threat that's gonna ramp them is quite good. Well, beyond that, we have Negate, which is our way to dealing with the Ultimatum. The Ultimatum is quite an annoying card they have, or we could also deal with Fabled Passage or Ugin. So it's also a turn 2 play, so in the rare case where they go Lotus Cobra, you have no removal for it, and then they untap, play a land, go for a retreat, you have a Negate to directly stop their plans. And I really like this art of Negate. I like it more than the Exilon art. If you think the Exilon art looks cooler, do tell me in the comments down below and we'll switch back to that one. Now, Agonizing Remorse is good against any deck, against any matchup, so I'm not gonna say, okay, this card is just amazing against 4-color OMNATH, but it's not a bad card in the matchup either. So looking at their hand, having perfect information on how to pilot is essential for any control deck, so that's why I like it. Heartless Act is an amazing piece of removal. Once again, you have ways to deal with Lotus Cobra on curve, but you also have a way to deal with OMNATH, because OMNATH usually doesn't have a counter on it. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to is that if your opponent has a Fabled Retreat and then he has a Fabled Passage active, so let me show you what I mean exactly here. So this is Fabled Retreat. Let me go with white. So Fabled Retreat says that whenever a land enters the battlefield, you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So make sure that when you play Heartless Act, they don't have a way to fetch a land, because if they do fetch a land and they put a counter on OMNATH, the spell is simply not going to do anything, so you just wasted 2 mana. So make sure that you are aware of this interaction. Beyond that, Mystical Dispute is another way for us to deal with OMNATH or counter it. I thought that we were done with Mystical Dispute in the main board days, but sadly OMNATH is back. OMNATH is here. We usually played Dispute to deal with Growth Spiral on turn 2. Now we're just gonna have to play to deal with OMNATH on turn 3. So that's why we're playing this. Brazen Borrower is a good card in general. It can bounce Fabled Retreat, it can bounce Cobra, it can do a lot of things, and it can pressure opponents quite well. Neutralize is just a counter spell that has cycle. You're gonna have to play this. Recovery is an amazing card, and I really like that card. Not because it's a model DFC and not because it's a land, but you're gonna find out why I love this card in a bit. Uro. Now this card might be getting banned on Monday. I think it's not gonna get banned on Monday just because it's the only thing keeping OMNATH in check, and if this goes out, I wonder how broken OMNATH will become. So let's just hope that this doesn't get banned, but in case it does get banned, we'll try to find a way to recover in this deck, so no worries. So Uro is good, and if you look at the deck quite clearly, it's my only other green card. So let's be real, this is kind of a Dimir deck that's splashing for Uro just because Uro is amazing. So Uro is good because it's a very good thing that you can pair in your control deck, because you have a threat that keeps on coming, and because it gains you life, it draws you a card, and it ramps you, so you don't need anything else. Rain of Revelation is my addition to the deck. Now most of these are quite a generic package, but Rain of Revelation is my personal touch with the deck, and I really like it because some people think that the discard downside is bad, but thing is, you can always pitch useless cards in your hand. Like for example, you can pitch a land, or for example, if you're playing against control, you can pitch Heartless Act, which is against control, it might not even have a target, so you just pitch it and then that's good. Beyond that, Eat Extinction is our way to deal with Planeswalkers, because the only way for us to deal with Planeswalkers is Eat Extinction and Bloodchief's Thirst. Another thing I wanted to point out is that Bloodchief's Thirst is good against 4-color OMNATH, because it gets better as the game goes longer, because you can kick it and deal with OMNATH, but you can also use it to deal with Ugin, which is another one of their win cons. Sorry guys. Now, Extinction Event, your control deck, you need a board wipe, so you're playing it. And why am I playing only one? Sorry guys, I need to sneeze, but I can't sneeze because I'm recording, so sorry for that. So why am I playing only one Mauling? Because I really don't think the card is good enough, and the fact that it costs one less is not really coming into relevance. Now I am playing one of them only because I want to play less lands, and this allows me to do so because I have 2 other lands, 1 other land, 3, and then this, which is 4. Speaking of Seagate Restoration, first let's tackle Shark Typhoon. We all know how good this card is. You can use it to chump block, you can use it as a threat. I'm not gonna delve too deep into it. Now, why do I love Seagate Restoration in this deck? 1, because it's a model DFC land, that's amazing. 2, because I can get it back with recovery, because if you read this card, it does not exile itself when it did its job, so you can keep recurring it with recovery and then keep on drawing more cards. And I'll make sure not to mill out, but you can always use it as an advantage tool. And Ugin the Spirit Dragon are 5th way to dealing with Planeswalkers, because we have 3, 4, and then this is technically a board wipe, so it's not really a Planeswalker dealing tool, but Ugin is simply amazing. And you might be wondering, where did I get this art? There was a sale going on in the store, in the daily deals bundle, so make sure to check the daily deals every single day. They're very, very useful deals sometimes. Now for our mana base, we're playing 3 islands, 1 swamp, 2 forests. 2 forests obviously to ensure that we can get double green for Uro using the Fabled Passages. 4 of the Dimir new flip land, 3 Temple of Malady, 3 Temple of Mystery. I like them a lot with Uro because you can always either play it and then Uro to draw a card, or you could play Uro and then play it. So in addition to gaining 3 life, drawing a card, and playing a land, you also get a scry 1. Because like you need to make Uro more broken, and then you made it more broken. So amazing. Triome, obviously you're gonna play it in a 3-color deck, and Fabled Passage is here to not only fuel the graveyard for Uro, but to make our mana much better. For our sideboard, we can find our other green cards, which are 5. I think it's very funny that this is a Sultai deck, but I'm only playing 6 and then 2, 8, 11 green cards out of the 75. Now, we have 2 duress, we have 1 negate. These are against grindy matchups, or matchups where you, for example, need to stop a big spell like Ultimatum. Duress is also good against that kind of flash decks, because you could duress to make sure that you play your very important spell. Scavenging Ooze is against graveyard decks or creature decks, because gaining life is relevant and this usually grows out of range quite quickly. Mystical Dispute is an essential card, because once again we need to deal with the Ultimatum and we need to deal with OMNATH. Pestilent Haze is a very interesting card, and funny enough, the 2 loyalty counters actually came into relevance as well in one of my games, so that's like a very interesting thing. But the main reason that I like this card is that it reminds me of JoJo. And yes, this video is a JoJo reference. So if you don't get the JoJo reference, I'm not gonna spoil you. Just go watch JoJo Part 5. If you do get the JoJo reference, do mention in the comments down below that you get it, and I will love you forever. Now beyond that, we have Extinction Event. If you need more board wipes, you can play them. In case you're feeling that you're not running into a lot of aggressive creature decks, you can take out Pestilent Haze, Extinction Event, and then you could maybe run... there's a lot of things you can run instead. You can run 1 more Bloodchief Thirst in case you need to stop very specific creatures and not all of the creatures. You could play more Mystical Disputes. There's always something. And in case you need help with the sideboard, assuming you don't want to play these, the Discord link is gonna be in the description down below, so just text me and then we're gonna like figure something out. Elder Gargaroth is insane, because against any mid-range creature deck, they're not gonna have a way to stop this, especially because they think, oh, okay, my opponent's playing control, let's side out all of our removal, and then you slam in Gargaroth and then you make them cry. Another creature that punishes your opponent for not playing creatures, not playing removal, and this is something that I'm testing, so I don't know how good this is yet. But ever since I tested this from Monday, it's been doing quite well, so I hope it's good. So why is this card good? Well, it reminds me of Thief of Sanity, which is the reason I wanted to play it. Because in control matchups or in mid-range control matchups, usually they take out their removal. So when you side in a creature that has such a relevant effect, they usually don't have a way to deal with it. So it usually goes unpunished, and then you just win the game with it. So Zareth San, and then he's probably like some anime character, which is why JoJo is very relevant. So Zareth San allows you to reanimate something from your opponent's graveyard in case he deals combat damage. And the funniest thing I've reanimated so far is an Ember Cleave, which I proceeded to equip to Zaristan next turn, and then I got the double strike, and then I reanimated 2 things. So this card is super fun. Whether or not it's meta, I think we still need a couple of weeks to know if we need to have a sideboard slot for it or we don't have to. But for now, I really like the card, so I'd recommend you try it out if you have the wild cards to spare. I do think it's an amazing card, but I usually don't emphasize that my opinions are always right. I like to listen to others, so if you want to wait, that's also a good decision. Now, Ugin the Spirit Dragon is here in case you want to deal with very grindy games where just simply resolving Ugin, minusing Ugin is amazing. Now, one more thing that I want to mention is that you can play this card, Return to Nature. Return to Nature is good because you can use it to deal with Faradar Retreat. And one last thing that I want to mention about Faradar Retreat, let's search for Faradar Retreat together. So Faradar Retreat says that you can put a counter on each creature you control. So make sure that when you play Heartless Act and you target something, that your opponent doesn't have an active Fabled Passage on the field. Because once again, if you do, and then your opponent puts a counter on things, Heartless Act is just going to fizzle and you're not going to do anything with it. So make sure to stay alert to that. But that's going to be it. And before we get into our games, I would like to please ask you to subscribe because it helps the channel a lot. I've been seeing my analytics and it shows that most of the views are people who aren't subbed. So please do subscribe. It might not seem like a lot to you because you're only pressing a button, but it means a lot to me because not only does it show YouTube that I'm a good channel and that my videos deserve to be watched, it also means that one more person is joining the Chromium family. So please, if you can, do subscribe. And if you want to help the Chromium family or this channel beyond that, you can check out the Patreon link in the description down below. And with that, I'll see you in the games. Going into our first game of Sultai Beauty, and as good as this hand sounds, not having access to blue is a deal breaker for me, so we're gonna have to mull. I mean, we have access to blue, we have access to Mauling, which is gonna be relevant because it's a land, so I think we're gonna keep. And I think we're gonna bottom Agonizing Remorse. Sorry, Agonizing Remorse, but I do need to make sure that I hit the classic multi-6, and then face mono red. I mean, if there's anything classic in Magic, it's just that feeling. So, funny enough, I think if we kept the other hand with the removal that we had. Okay, so it's not mono red, it's Gruul, which is not that better, but it's kind of a bit slower, so I'm happy about that. So we're gonna play our Temple of Mystery, just to scry into things that are useful. I'm gonna bottom the Negate. Now, one annoying thing would be if they have, if they top deck the, what was he called? Why did I forget the name of the most annoying 2-drop, Robber of the Rich? So, if they have Robber of the Rich, I'm gonna be quite sad because they can attack, take whatever I didn't, like I'm trying to draw, which would be annoying. Alright. So, opponent curving very well. We have a Heartless Act to deal with this. So we're gonna probably do that. We're gonna Heartless Act, destroy this. I maybe should have scryed before. Yeah, I think I should definitely have scryed before, so don't do that mistake. And why is that? Because if I find a... we don't want that. If I found a Extinction Event on top, it would have been better for me to not actually kill this and maybe just Agonizing Remorse, strip something away from their hand. So that's the whole thought process behind what I'm saying. Now, if I draw a black source, or if I draw a land actually, we might go into Uro, draw a card, and then after draw a card, play land, Agonizing Remorse their hand. Alright, so he plays sadly Edgewall Innkeeper, which is not something nice for me because I don't want them to gain card advantage, but too bad indeed. So let's hope they attack with their Edgewall Innkeeper. They do, which scares me. He does not. He is a smart man. So we're gonna, I think, just make the Shark Typhoon token anyways. If he has an Ember Cleave, well, too bad. We're trying our best. If he doesn't, we're in a decent spot. We might be playing our Mauling next turn just as a way to gain some land drops. Do they play Shock? I don't think they play Shock, do they? Alright, so they do play Bone Crusher Giant, that's something. Okay, there's a Heartless Act. So we could be potentially looking at play Uro, kill this Edgewall Innkeeper. Or we could be looking at a board wipe. I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that. So we're gonna Extinction Event, take away everything that is odd. By the way, something very, very, I'm not gonna say funny because it really broke my heart, but something interesting that happened yesterday. I played Extinction Event and I named even, and then for some reason the game took it as odd, and then it exiled all of my creatures, and I just looked at my life, contemplated every single life decision I've ever made, and I'm not gonna lie, I almost cried. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. Not a land, but we'll take it. The question is, do I keep this up or do I Heartless Act this? I think we're gonna keep this up. Because if he has an Ember Cleave, I think we're dead, and I'd rather not die to Ember Cleave, which is the card I hate the most. And okay, so Robber of the Rich is here, which tells me that they probably don't have an Ember Cleave. So let's go fetch up our blue source, and then let's actually, I think I'm gonna let it resolve, and then I'm gonna Heartless Act it, so like it's all good. Okay, so he's gonna pass the attackers, we're gonna Heartless Act. Actually, wait. Alright, too late. What I wanted to say is that if he attacks, and then in response to the trigger I Heartless Act, he doesn't get the trigger, and I could have killed Bonecrusher Giant. Well, too late for that decision. Too late indeed. Another Edgewall Innkeeper. Please board wipe off the top. I mean, that was kind of greedy to ask for. So we're gonna keep this because we're playing Recovery, and Recovery can get us back our board wipe. Very sorry guys, I'm getting called by my friend. Okay. So I sent her the not call me. I mean, one day I'll probably have a status that says, I'm recording a video, please do not talk to me, but that's for the future guys, that's for the future. So let's see. If he has an Ember Cleave, it would be nice, because if he goes to attack with Bonecrusher, I counter his Ember Cleave. That would be quite interesting. Look, I have blue, black, so I can counter anything he plays. If he just goes for Bonecrusher Giant, I draw 2 cards with Edgewall Innkeeper, that's also a good play. Alright, so he tapped out for his turn, he lost a turn, and he lost 2 life, so not a bad turn for us, I guess. Not a bad turn for us indeed. And you actually get Extinction Event. Ooh, so that's interesting. So we're gonna attack with Uro, and now we draw Arena of Revelation, which is cool. Now the thing is, I could go very greedy and try to draw into a land, or I could directly go Extinction Event. Now the thing is, we run quite a bit of lands, but most of them are tapped. So I'd rather, I'm gonna play, I'm just gonna, alright, never mind. So I have a better play in mind. So we're gonna play this Uro, and now we're gonna on purpose decide to keep this Uro. Now why? Because we're gonna play Extinction Event for odd. So because we're gonna play Extinction Event for odd, we would have exiled our own Uro. But now, because we're gonna Extinction Event without Uro on the field for odd, we're gonna actually get rid of his creatures, keep our Uro in the graveyard, and next turn we can maybe get it back. So 700 IQ plays right here. Alright, favorite champion is not that big of a problem, honestly. Oof, so he attacks first. Is there a pump spell? It's probably the pump spell, right? 100% is a pump spell. So now he can play his Bonecrusher Giant. Okay. Now, what is our turn gonna look like? Our turn's probably gonna go like this. Crack Fabled Passage. I have enough green sources. I don't think I do, so we're gonna get one. And we have enough for triple blue in case, double blue in case we draw a card. And in case we draw a counter. Alright, Uro give us something nice. And he does give us something nice. It's a Fabled Passage, which is not bad. So, see what I meant by Arena of Revelation being able to discard useless cards in your hand? Agonizing Remorse is not gonna do anything. So I might as well take it. Alright, probably another pump spell by the looks of it. I think it's another Rimrock Knight. It's an Ember Cleave. Why do they always have Ember Cleave? Why do they always top deck Ember Cleave actually? They don't have it, they just top deck it. I mean, I'm still not fine. I mean, I'm still not bothered by this trade. He ended his turn. Sure, we took 5, but I mean, not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, guys. Then he gets the free equip, which is annoying, but sure. We're not that disadvantaged currently. Because, like, look at things. He has 1 creature, he has 2 creatures. I mean, I can deal with them. I have so much spot removal in the deck. So, Reign of Revelation, draw cards. I think we're gonna pitch Agonizing Remorse. Because I could see Dispute being relevant, but I can't see Agonizing Remorse being relevant. So we're gonna destroy this. And then I can cycle, so we're gonna cycle. And then we're just gonna replay our Uro. So he took our Uro last turn, we just played it back. And we have an active Uro once again. And we have a Negate, which is not that relevant, but we have it. So opponent, what's the plan? What do you want to do? Is the concede button ready, opponent? The concede button was ready. Okay, so I'm glad if I get to show you guys me winning against Mono Red. I'm quite glad. So we're gonna bring in our Pestilent Haze, we're gonna bring in our Extinction Event, Elder Gargaroth, because they can't deal with it. I might or might not bring him. Actually, I will bring him just to showcase him to all of you. So we're gonna take out some counter spells, take out some Mystical Disputes, some Negates, and I think that should be it. One thing you could also, by the way, play in the sideboard, which I forgot to mention, is you could play Brazen Borrowers. It's a good card. And just because I'm going second, I'd rather play Scavenging Ooze over Agonizing Remorse. Now Ugin is a bit too slow, so I think I'm gonna side him out and just play one more Agonizing Remorse. Now why am I saying that he's too slow? Because it's gonna take way too long to actually get played. So I'm just gonna text my friend because she's still calling me, so I'm sorry guys. Okay, that should be enough. Now our hand is kind of bad because we don't have a model DFC and we don't have a land, so we're gonna mulligan. And now we have a very good hand. Now Pestilent Haze is a bit heavy on the mana, but trust me, it's worth it. So we're gonna bottom our Elder Gargaroth and we're just gonna path. Now why did I bottom it? Because it's 5 mana. And I don't think I have 5 mana currently. I think you do also know that I don't have 5 mana. Now this is not that annoying because we can always remove up to 3 counters from it. So we're gonna pass. So we're gonna search up for a black source. And we need to ensure that we have triple black on turn 3. Okay, so opponent doesn't have a turn 2 play, which is good for me. At least doesn't have a... Yeah, he does have a turn 2 play, but he didn't have the card that everyone loves. The card that everyone indeed loves. Robber of the Rich. At least when you're playing Robber of the Rich, you do love him. When you're not playing him, you don't like him. I'm gonna play... Okay. Thing is, I think the most logical thing to play here is to play Fabled Passage to ensure that I have Pestilent Haze on turn 3. Although, okay, so another line of play would have been play the island, so I ensure that I have a Heartless Act up, and then if he goes to pump his knight with another knight, I kill this, killing 2 of his cards. But I think having Pestilent Haze on turn 3 is way more important, and I think I was correct in this case, because it seems he's just gonna play another 2-drop. What's the plan, opponent? So nothing? Okay. I mean, not the worst for me. Search for... Oop. Yeah, search for a blue source. Never mind, so we can just play this as a black source. So yeah, play this as a black source. Pestilent Haze. Of course, remove 3 from Planeswalkers. Alright, so we just pass back. And now next turn, if we draw an untapped land, we can play Agonizing Remorse as well as Heartless Act. So opponent, is this Questing Beast time? It's probably Questing Beast time. No, Questing Beast, okay. We're just gonna Agonizing Remorse, see what's happening, take the Ember Cleave. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't mind that. I'm not gonna keep a board wipe because we have enough interaction. For now, I'm trying to draw into a green source so we can start pumping our Scavenging Ooze. Alright, that's not the worst thing, honestly. So we can always play Ooze. Okay, I'm gonna play this as a green source. We can then play Ooze, and then we can pass the turn. Okay. I mean, if he has... I'm just waiting because maybe he has what was the card called? Primal Might. So I was hoping he'd use Primal Might to pump his left string beast, but he sadly doesn't have it. So sad for me. I tried to be greedy and then it didn't work. So we're gonna use Agonizing Remorse once again. He doesn't have anything. We'll exile a land. I'd rather keep the creatures for our Scavenging Ooze. We're gonna play our other Scavenging Ooze. And we're gonna now attack. And we're just gonna pass. Now, I'm not gonna use the Ooze yet because I would want to keep it up in response to a Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, so he plays another land that tells us that he does not. Alright, so that's gonna be it for game 1. Because the game was so short, we're actually gonna go into a game 2, and we're gonna hope that the game 2 isn't too long. So in case it is too long, I'm gonna have to show you a bit of it, like clips of it, because I don't want to make this video too long. So with that, let's go into game 2. Going into our second game of Sultai Beauty. I mean, I like our hand, but it's not doing anything the first couple of turns, so I don't think that's a keeper. This is kind of better, honestly, because at least if he goes turn 2 Lotus Cobra, I have turn 2 Agonizing Remorse, which is not the best feeling, but it's not bad either. So we're gonna keep 6, and I think Neutralize is just a bit too slow for my liking. Okay, so it's either Neutralize or Rain of Revelation. I think just Neutralize is gonna be too slow for my liking. So let's see what our opponent is playing. Please don't be mono red. Actually, I have a board wipe turn on my hand. Yeah, I don't mind being mono red. Alright. So that doesn't mean that he's not mono red, but if he's playing Lotus Cobra, okay, he's probably 4-color OMNATH, and I have a Bloodchief Thirst in case he goes for Lotus Cobra, so that's cool. That's very, very cool. So play an island, Agonizing Remorse, show me your hand. I mean, he does have the Cobra. He's not gonna get to play it, is he? So I'm gonna take the most annoying thing from him, which is probably me taking the Beanstalk Giant. And now if he goes next turn Cobra into land, we're not in a bad position. So we just, alright. He doesn't have green yet for his Lotus Cobra. Lol, I did not notice. So we don't have green for our Uro, which is something I should have paid attention to. But you know what they say, you live and you learn. So hopefully we're gonna draw a green source. So did he draw a normal land, and then he was gonna play Solemn Simulacrum. I mean, I still think that my Beanstalk Giant plan is the most solid one. Alright, Cultivate is not something that I wanted him to get, because now he's gonna fix all of his mana issues, which is annoying. So I think I laughed a bit too soon. Alright, so he's probably gonna go fetch up a... He has all colors, so it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, he has everything, so it doesn't really matter what he gets. Just go green to ensure that he has more than one spell to play. So most logical play next turn will be play Lotus Cobra, play land. Okay, I guess that works too. So we finally have a green source for our Uro. I mean, if you really look at his hand, he's not doing that much yet. So if you play Stairs of the Peaks, I mean, that's still not the most annoying thing because... Okay. So I think we can afford to take a hit, so I'm gonna try to develop my board using Uro. So let's just play Uro, get a temple, and then we're gonna keep the other temple on top. Now next turn we go double remove as well. We kill Lotus Cobra, and then we kill the Stair of the Peaks. Now this Stair of the Peaks is gonna deal quite a bit of damage to me, not gonna lie. But I'd rather develop my board, because like if you look at him, he has 5 lands in play and I had only 4, so I don't want to fall behind ramp wise. So opponent, anytime now, feel free to attack me. Alright, so we're gonna take 2 damage. And then we're gonna take 5 damage hopefully. Alright, so we're gonna be taking a bit more. And by a bit more, I mean a lot more. So now he's gonna fetch. See, these are the broken lines of play that Lotus Cobra allows, and this is why I think you really need to have a way to deal with it early on. Now, do I think Lotus Cobra needs to get banned or not? I mean, I guess we're gonna leave that to testing and some future data. I don't think I want to speak on that too soon. So opponent, can you please play Beanstalk? Okay, so he's gonna... I actually like this play even more. I really like this play actually, because now So what I had in mind is that he uses Beanstalk Giant, searches a land, get a landfill trigger, play Solemn Simulacrum. But now we can do this and then go for odd. And then we can go for this, kill the Lotus Cobra, and then we can play our Temple and Scry, which is, I think, the perfect sequence of events. And we have a Shark Typhoon to capitalize. So I like our sequence of plays. I quite like it. So he can go Solemn Simulacrum next turn, hope to play his Beanstalk Giant, which is good with me. So he's gonna go fetch up, I guess, a White Source. Alright, I lost the guessing game. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Alright. So we can either go Rain of Revelation counter, destroy spell. What the hell is destroy spell? Remove a spell. Or we could go Shark Typhoon, make a 4/4. So we have options. So we're gonna be taking 2. I don't mind taking 2. I'd rather him not drawing any cards. Opponent anytime now. Bone Crusher Giant is okay. Ramping is fine. Just please finish your turn. White Source. I say it's a White Source. I mean, one day I'm gonna be correct and you're gonna go like, damn, how did you guess this? So is there anything else you'd like to do, opponent? Alright, so nothing else. So we're gonna go for this, pay 4 mana. Let's draw our card. Alright, so we drew a land. We drew Recovery. Do I want to recover Extinction Event? I think we can wait for that. Let's use our Uro to do some things. I mean, I think we're not gonna recover something, so like might as well. So let's see. Alright. Play our Recovery tapped. And start attacking with our Shark Typhoon. So now we have Uro to block this Bone Crusher Giant, we have Brazen Borrower to bounce it, or Heartless Act to kill it in case he does anything funny. Gilded Goose is okay. One thing I should mention is that if they top deck Ultimatum, we're in a horrible spot. So like, let's hope they don't top deck Ultimatum anytime soon. That's fine with me. Anything else? Alright, then let's kill the Beanstalk Giant. Alright, so let's attack, and then if it goes to block with both of these, I'm gonna do something quite nice, which is bounce with Brazen Borrower. I'm gonna keep Extinction Event. In case he top decks Ultimatum, I'll have something to counter it or stop it. Alright, so he goes for the line that I expected, which is double block. We're now just gonna bounce the Solemn Simulacrum, and now he just lost his Bone Crusher Giant for no value, basically. So that's it for my turn, opponent. Back to you. Could have played the Triome, but I'd rather cycle it at this stage in the game. Alright, so there's no Ultimatum, which means that our end step is gonna probably look like Rain of Revelation, pitch a Triome, or just pitch anything that we draw that we don't need. Another Solemn Simulacrum, alright. So Extinction Event for even, get rid of both of its draws. Actually sounds very interesting. And we might go for that. Yeah, we might definitely go for that. Alright. Now because we're going for even, I think I'd rather... Actually, I think I'm just gonna... I want to draw cards. I want to draw into a Negate to just seal the deal and be comfortable. Alright, no Negate. We're gonna pitch Agonizing Remorse. It's like the most useless cards in our hand currently. So let's see, opponent. No counter spell yet. We're gonna go for Extinction Event for even. Not give him the advantage of drawing any cards. Sure we lose our token, but we make him lose 2 cards, which is quite better in my opinion. We're gonna attack. Please draw into a Negate. So we draw into a land, which allows us to go a Rain of Revelation Negate, so it's good. So we're just gonna go for that and we're gonna pass. Alright, so we have lethal in case opponent doesn't top deck anything useful. Because we can go Brazen Borrower, Heartless Act, kill this. I mean, OMNATH is not the worst problem, honestly. Yeah, I think it's not the biggest problem. We can let that resolve. Alright, what's next? Lotus Cobra is okay. I mean, don't have land drops, I'm fine with Lotus Cobra. So we're gonna do this, play our Brazen Borrower. And then we're gonna use our Triome to cycle. And then if we hit a Extinction Event for even, I think the game is quite over. I have a Recovery, which can do the same thing. So yeah, so Recovery for Extinction Event, and you know it. So the plan was to just, let me show you. So the plan was to play Recovery, 3 mana, get back Extinction Event, 4 mana for even, and then Heartless Act, kill the Gilded Goose, and then attack for game. So what do I want to sideboard against this deck? Duress is good, Mystical Dispute is good, Negate is good. Zyrus Sun they do not expect, so it's amazing. Ugin is amazing. Elder Gargoth is not bad, it's not the best, so we're just bringing in 2. And I think I'm gonna side out our... So that's the thing. We have quite a lot of good cards against the matchup. I think Hagra Mauling is not the best, and I think Eat Extinction Spot Removal is not the best for 4 mana. Beyond that, I think I can let go of 1 Shark Typhoon. And then because we're bringing in Mystical Dispute, I think I can take out 2 Neutralize. And then Heartless Act isn't the best, so I think we can take 1 out. And I can take out 1 Agonizing Remorse because I am going second and I am bringing in 2 Duress, so that's good for me. And I really like Duress in this deck because it gives you the option to go turn 2, destroy a creature with like the Bloodchief Thirst, and then Duress your opponent, so like you kind of get to deal with multiple things. No lands, no modded DFC, we mull. Quite a good hand, so we're gonna keep. And I think Uro is the weakest card here, so I think I'm gonna have to mod that. Now you could also bottom Zyrus Sun, but I told you it's his showcase video, so we're gonna showcase him. I played this to ensure that I have black on turn 2 to deal with something that they didn't have, which is Lotus Cobra. But like Lotus Cobra is such a good card that you need to respect it. Like you need to respect them having it on turn 2. So we're gonna Duress. They don't have anything I can take. So they do have Lotus Cobra. They just don't have a way to cast it yet. Is this a game I win because opponent doesn't draw colors? I think this is way too risky of a keep when you're a 4 color deck. I mean, the odds of you not drawing your 3rd color are not that low, honestly, opponent. Alright. So I don't like winning this way, but if the game is gonna continue this way, I think we're advantaged. So he draws white. Now this is me hoping he draws red, so he can play this, and then I play Zyrus Sun on unstep, untap Bloodchief Thirst, not anything that I had in mind. Okay, so he can either go Lotus Cobra or he could go Uro. And the decision is actually quite relevant because... Alright, so he goes Uro. What I wanted to say is that if he goes for Lotus Cobra, I can actually untap, play Zyrus Sun, and kill it, and then reanimate it. So this is risky in case he has a Mystical Dispute, but I don't think he has it. Alright, he doesn't have it. So not the best Zyrus Sun trigger, but at least we're gonna get to deal 4 and draw a card, and then ramp a bit, so that's not the worst. So let's just get back Uro. And then because Uro did not escape, we're gonna have to sacrifice him, but at least we get a card, and we get ramp, which is amazing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. So next turn if we draw into a land, we can play Ugin. I'm loving this hand currently. I'm really loving everything we're doing. Now if he goes Terror of the Peaks, OMNATH is actually interesting. So I'm not gonna use my land because I want to keep it for OMNATH, because we're gonna attack and then I'm gonna get to reanimate OMNATH, so I want to get the trigger. So you can gain your 4 life opponent, I don't care about that. Alright, so we don't draw into a land, but at least we can kick this, kill OMNATH. Now we can attack. See, these creature decks do not handle them. I told you that while testing I figured out that they don't handle them, and that So guys, I'm telling you, this deck is quite good. It ends game quite quickly. It's super efficient against the most annoying deck in the format, OMNATH. Now, I'm not saying that this game was the hardest game, because obviously Denver drew his green source. I mean, it was a bit too late, but the deck is quite good, so I do recommend you try it out. And then if Uro gets banned Monday, I mean, the deck does get a bit worse, but we can find something to fix it. But what I do know is I'm always going to be siding this in a control deck. So that's going to be pretty much it for the video, guys. If you did enjoy, please make sure to subscribe, because it helps the channel a lot, and it truly, truly means a lot to me. I want you to become part of our family, and I want you to become a fan. So beyond that, if you want to check out the Patreon link in the description down below, that's also a good way for you to promote the channel and help it. And speaking of patrons, I wanted to thank them for making my content possible, and a huge shout out to I am Mark Mac. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.